Hi Humanimals. I actually don't have a video to make, so I've done non-live lives before. This is the non-video video. What it is an invitation to you to put your thoughts and feelings about the search that's gone on in Salida for Suzanne Morphew, and just let me know what you think. What aspects would you like to discuss? Because it's just too immense, too tense. There's too much going on in my mind about it, about different subjects and different angles. It's so much to sort of try and process and work through before I could make a video on a subject for you, because I think we all feel that there has been a lot going on and maybe we're not sure how we feel about some of it. You know, how do you feel about where some of the search was undertaken? Whether it's on private property, whether it's because, you know, hot mess or wet patch or pie hole tells you to go there. Is it annoying or worrying that when you see footage of searches, you've got people going single file and not moving across an area like that? I mean, terrain would make it hard. But I think obviously overall there's been hundreds of people, generous, genuine people who have given it their all. Every minute that there's been sunlight, they've been out with the focus on finding Suzanne or finding a clue. You know, and you've also got people that are out there making their own little films about things that we've all moved on from and aren't important at the time in context of the search, but that's people's individual choice. You know, what do you think about the dogs from outer space? What do you think about this sort of stuff? I mean, really, what do you think about the outcome overall, I guess, because for me that met all of my expectations, this search, culminating with Suzanne not being found. But so much has gone on. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about being an instrument in an orchestra? How do you feel about being an actor on a stage with a director, the producers, you know? Are you the audience, or what participation have you had? Do you feel like that's what we were doing, was watching something real or something devised for reaction, you know? I mean, you know, you've got the expected Freudian slips going on from the expected people, such as calling the vigil the show. It's disappointing, but expected. Such a mishmash, isn't it, of so many good hearts and souls, so much focused energy and urgency and intention, you know, that intention to find Suzanne, and then all this other stuff that's going on and all the manipulation. You can't tell me that this whole thing, that there's not a whole lot of Machiavellianism going on, you know. How do you feel? What do you think about it? So, you know, put some comments down below. Let's make this a video where the Humanimals can, you know, we discuss how we feel about that case, because if you're wanting me to make a video about it for you, about what I think, it's just, I'm just overwhelmed. It's just been too tense, but also I've got so much here that I want to say to you. So much about so many aspects. Let's not forget that this is not what's happened doesn't mean that we you know, take Mr. Barry Morphew off a POI list, etc. You know, everything that the searchers have done has been extremely valid, because it is going towards that end game of, you know, being able to nail down perpetrators, charge them, take them to court and convict them. And it's all valid and is going towards that goal, that end game. But, you know, there's been a lot of accusation, hasn't there? And there's been things said like, okay, so there was a 3.5-hour window. She's within 30 to 40 miles and we're going to find her. She's not hidden well. You know, there's very direct, sure statements made that are always directly contradicted at various times. You know, do you feel like, what do you feel about law enforcement now? Do you think that they're actually on other tracks? Are they on parallel lines? Are they just like this? How do you feel about them? How do you feel about the case as far as the work done by law enforcement at this stage? What do you think they actually think happened? Why do you think there's so many holes in the investigation that shouldn't be there to this point? I mean, you've got people saying, as if they know, and they don't, saying, you know, law enforcement told the hotel to get rid of the camera footage. You know, making pronouncements like that helps nobody. Now, you know, anything's possible, and corruption is possible, incompetence is possible, confusion is possible, it's highly likely in fact, but we just don't know, do we, what's going on? And that's part of why this is just so intense for people that care about Suzanne Morphew and her family on both sides, and want a result, because having a lack of faith in authority, law enforcement, people with power, is quite devastating to a citizen, isn't it? Especially when it is, you know, that when it seems to be happening right in front of your eyes. Yeah, how do you feel about, so the search itself, the outcome, the coverage? How do you feel about where the searches were directed to go? How do you feel about the dogs? Do you feel like people should have known, well, you know, this is how we do it with dogs. If we bring our own ones, are we going to just trespass? Is it going to be difficult for law enforcement to use what we find? How is that going to work? If they don't dig, what are we going to do? I mean, they didn't dig. They haven't excavated. They've excavated jack's shit. No tents went up around these spots. So is it because, you know, we've all been, you know, there's this, shall we call it a veil? Where are the smoke and mirrors, you know? Is it, do they not dig because it's not as it seems? I mean, oh God, it's so dense. It's so dense. You can barely breathe with it all. I know I'm kind of smiling. It's because of the tension and yeah. Oh, I mean, Suzanne, what has she gone through? Has what happened in the last week, has it changed how you feel about if this crime has been premeditated, if it's been spur of the moment? Have you started thinking about who's involved, their roles. Have you thought about when Suzanne actually left? You know, I didn't realise that there was another truck. So there's a truck that we've seen Barry in often, and that's the sort of dark grey kind of black truck. Then there's the big truck that he seems to have had, that he's pulling this bobcat around, because one of the daughters was riding in this truck that we sort of know as Barry's truck, following the vehicle that had the bobcat. So that's a new vehicle. So where was this other vehicle the weekend that Suzanne went missing? Because if the Range Rovers were at home and Barry's driving around in his little truck, is he? Or did he take the big truck? Who took the truck? One of these trucks camping. How did the girls get to the campground? Did one of the trucks go there? I mean, you know, where do you feel the holes are in this investigation? It's spooky. It's actually spooky. I mean, yeah, my concern is, not that, it says that a particular thing happened, but surely you have to tick things off as well as just pursue something for evidence, one track for evidence, the track that Barry Morphew is a killer, a domestic violence abuser. I mean, okay, what do you think about all the things that we've been told to believe, and it doesn't really matter, someone doesn't really care that it's going to be shown as wrong later, right? Because there's a purpose to us thinking, oh, even for a day, oh, Suzanne was going to domestic violence counselling. Oh, it's to do with her charity because it's something she cared about. How do you feel about that? Because those things pile up and pile up. And if you're talking patterns, that's the pattern. That is the main pattern. The main pattern is all the things that you were told to believe about Barry to make him look like a liar, to make him look violent, etc. So you talk about people being set up. Is that what's happening? Is someone being set up? When did Gene Mormon really get sick? Andy, if he hasn't been very close. I mean, and I can say this, it's not guesswork, because Gene Mormon himself said that he had caused a rift and he was very deeply sorry. So Andy has not spoken very much to Suzanne in 2 years. And then we see a birthday message after the fact highlighting how she cares for her own family. Then we see the I want to know when someone that is living near Gene knows that he's unwell, don't they? Maybe before he's diagnosed. Yeah, there's money involved everywhere. There's, even down to the point where people people are trying to establish themselves as the go-to for any crime. Okay, what do? Well, you put it on a certain channel because then they do this, they do that, and it's all this big spectator sport. Do you think people really care? Okay, yes, they might be on organisations, boards, etc., but does it mean they've been genuine in this case? Do you really think that there's people that have been genuine in this case trying to help it out, or do you think it's selfish, self-serving, manipulative, quite nasty, unprofessional, unreasonable, dangerous, passive-aggressive, manipulative, disgusting? How do you feel? Yeah, do you feel dirty? Do you feel dirty and slightly ruined for having supported people initially? I mean, it's like, when you hear a song, if you like it straight away first, you go, yeah, this is awesome. You know, you get sick of it really quickly, right? It's those creepers. It's the creepers. They grow on you and you get to know those songs and they are just forever in your heart. You know, and are there songs that we've just been, you know, in awe of, or in being, you know, fascinated with and infatuated with too quickly? Is it, you know, is it infatuation and not deep love, not true love? And where is it all going to go after this? You know, there still might be a Barry Morphew arrest. That's, you know, it's just a plain fact. But how do you feel about how he's been treated, the things that have been said? Do you think it's the right way to go about it, to treat someone as guilty until proven innocent? Do you think it's right to have saints and sinners? And how would you feel if it were you? How would it feel that were your wife and you're innocent? You know, yes, we all see the weird things, okay? We've all got many situations that have happened in our own lives where things could have looked a particular way. And it's just completely the opposite of something, but circumstantially. You know, so all think about that as citizens. Think about that as citizens. Your safety, because your safety is actually under threat when we're acting the way that we have. Yeah. It's not to downplay anything, you know, the devastation people must be feeling and that lack of hope or that loss of hope. Hopefully, you know, you can't lose that faith that that things will come to light and that Suzanne will be found and this crime, because, you know, obviously, I think obviously there has been a crime, I don't know. How I feel about it, I think she left the house alive. I don't know if it was on the bicycle and she was taken from there, or I don't know if it was in a vehicle. How easy would it have been to get Suzanne to leave in a vehicle? Easy peasy. No evidence whatsoever left behind. You know, there's all sorts of theories you could come up with that are pretty wild. You know, wanted to be euthanized. You know, there's certain people that just wouldn't put their family through that. So things, when you hear that, you know, that hurts to hear things like that. It does happen, but not so that your family is left facing murder allegations and can't live a life. This is too long. I'm not saying anything. I just want to invite you to use this video as the discussion about this case, and because I'm going to collect my thoughts. Oh, there's so much. And with a migraine, I've had a migraine for days and I can't get the words out. I can't say things how I want to you. I've had some questions answered though. So thank you for tuning in to Humanimals, saying absolutely nothing to you. But yeah, I really, I'm really just feeling what you guys are probably feeling. You know, we're all in this it's like we are just we're in it's so emotional. It's so stressful nearly, and I'm just someone sitting on the other side of the world from where this event has happened, and I feel like this. So, just cherish everything that those searchers and townsfolk have done for Suzanne, for Barry, for Mallory and Macy, for Andy, for Jean, for everyone. It's so beyond anything that you can expect someone to do. It is pretty amazing. It is a great achievement, and they are to be commended. Just how much of it do you feel has been real and valid and from a place of integrity? I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Thank you for all the lovely comments that I've had lately supporting me. Just with, I've got a few physical issues at the moment. It's kind of migraines are kind of just related to that, I guess. And you've been very supportive and understanding. I haven't been making very good content lately. That's just the way the Humanimal channel is, though. I mean, as I say, I'm a viewer who just makes videos, and there are no expectations that I want you to hold about what I'm going to do or say or be for you. A lot of the joy and a lot of the good stuff that I get off this channel has dissipated lately, and it's been actually a really negative experience for quite a while, but I've felt like I haven't been able to, my videos have changed, haven't they, since the way I used to make videos. But I'm going to persevere because, I'm just going to keep making videos. You can absolutely count on that. That I'm not going to go anywhere. And if I do, you can come and look for me. I'll see you later.